Mr. Bart Fisher, a highly acclaimed attorney at law of the United States and managing partner of the law firm Bart S. Fisher, has dubbed the joint statement released by America, Britain, Canada, and the European Union as problematic. The attorney lamented that he has 5 problems with the statement issued, the first being it was premature.
The first problem is it's premature. Comments such as were made in the joint statement should be made only at the conclusion of the process. And one would have thought that the signatories would have respected the process and commented only at the conclusion.
He continued with his tirade, asserting that the joint statement was prejudicial.
What has been done is the publication of prejudicial statements. That's a prejudicial statement, even before the matter has been heard by the CCJ, right? So one has the feeling that they are trying to place their thumb on the scales of justice.
The attorney went on to state the remaining 3 reasons as to why he believes the statement is one that constitutes a problem.
The third problem is it's a rank interference with the internal affairs of Guyana, and that shouldn't happen. The fourth problem I have is that of authorization. I would like to know if this statement was sanctioned by the appropriate ranking foreign ministers in the 4 countries, and if this is really the official position of these governments. In other words, who initiated the joint statement? What is its intent? And why was it put out in a way to subvert the rule of law? And finally, the statement itself is vague. It's not clear at all. They only offer vague support for the PPP, but vague or not, it goes against Guyana's laws. So I think the joint statement is very problematic.
Further, the attorney questioned whether the statement issued is the official position of the governments of the represented countries, as he believes the Secretary of State of the United States did not authorize such a statement.
The Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, is a very smart, savvy, tough guy. And I don't think he authorized that statement. And you notice the statement was from the embassy, the U.S. Embassy in Guyana, and as opposed to the Secretary of State. So, for sure, yeah, you're right on. I doubt that it was sanctioned by the ranking foreign ministers of those countries.
On Wednesday, the Abce countries, the Organization of American States, of which Guyana is a member, as well as the outgoing chairman of CARICOM, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, all issued statements calling for a speedy end to the electoral process using the tally of votes from the national recount exercise. The AFC has maintained its position that only valid votes should be used to make a declaration as to who won the elections. On Monday, the Court of Appeal had interpreted Article 177(2)(b) of the Constitution, where it ruled that more votes meant more valid votes. On Tuesday, the PPPC filed a leave of application to the Caribbean Court of Justice, questioning whether the Court of Appeal had jurisdiction to hear the matter or whether the judges at the Court of Appeal had overstepped their jurisdiction. Article 177(4) of the Constitution of Guyana states that the Court of Appeal shall have exclusive jurisdiction to hear and determine any question as to the validity of an election of a president, insofar as that question depends upon the qualification of any person for election or the interpretation of this Constitution, and any decision of that court under this paragraph shall be final. The leader of the opposition, when he was president in 2004, had assented to the Caribbean Court of Justice Act 16 of 2004, where it says in Section 4.3, "Nothing in this act shall confer jurisdiction on the court to hear matters in relation to any decision of the Court of Appeal, which at the time of entry into this force of act was declared to be final by any law." The Caribbean Court of Justice facilitated a hearing of the case management on Thursday, after which a hearing on July 1st will determine whether the court has jurisdiction to hear the case or not. If the court finds that it has jurisdiction to hear the case, filed before it by the PPPC, then this could mean that the Court of Appeal's ruling would be overturned, and a declaration will most likely be made based on votes tallied from the national recount exercise. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Wendell Badrie.